Hey guys, welcome back into the channel. Now it's time for the National League Season Preview. We're going to start with the NL East for this. And for the NL East, it's a battle between two teams. And we all know what two teams I'm talking about. That would be the Nationals and the Mets. For me, I'm going to start with this division from the bottom up. With the other divisions, I went top to bottom, but we're going to switch it up here. For me, 5th place goes to the Atlanta Braves. I think that's something I'm fairly confident in. They do have some young guys like Dansby Swanson that I'm looking forward to seeing. He's the early favorite for National League Rookie of the Year. Holy shit, this camera's low. There we go. Now the sun's in my face, whatever. But not really a whole lot to say about them other than they got some young guys that I'm looking forward to seeing. Obviously, they're in a new stadium this year. No more Turner Field. That could add a little bit of interest too, at least early in the season, just to see the new stadium and stuff. But for me, they finish in 5th. I think 4th place goes to the Philadelphia Phillies. They're another team with a lot of young guys. I think I expect a little more of them this season than I do Atlanta. Aaron Nola, I really like him at the top of the Phillies rotation. But let's be honest, this is a team that's still in a rebuilding phase and isn't quite ready to compete yet, and I feel like they finish in 4th place. For me, 3rd place goes to the Miami Marlins. This is a team, much like the Kansas City Royals, that is dealing with the tragic death of a star pitcher. And in this case, it's one of the best pitchers in baseball, and Jose Fernandez really does set the whole organization back a step. You know, that's the best player that they had on that roster. And he's gone now, so that's a weak rotation you have over there in Miami. They have some good offensive pieces. I really love Christian Yelich. Was huge for me in fantasy last year. Echeverria, Stanton. Well, what kind of year will he have? They have good pieces on the offensive side. D. Gordon, but that rotation's pretty damn weak, and I expect them to finish in 3rd. And I think they will be under 500. They were right around that last year with Hernandez. I think they're going to be, somewhere in the 70s as far as their win total this season. But, they could maybe end up being around the 80s because of the fact that they're going to have a lot of games against the Braves and Phillies, who I still think, because of their offense, they're better than. So, but we'll see. They'll be under 500 in my opinion. Then you got the top two teams in the division. I think a lot of people are going to disagree on where I put these two teams, but for me, the 2nd place team in this division is the Washington Nationals. I think that, last year was the last year they had to win that division because I think, the Mets didn't have Harvey. DeGrom had injury problems. Matz had injury problems. Wheeler was out the whole year. So basically all you had was Syndergaard. And they still had a fight from the Mets for that top spot. And I think that the Nationals now are going to be the 2nd team in that division. And I still think they're a playoff contender. They're still a World Series contender. I just think over 162 games, the Mets have 5 really good pitchers. The Nationals have 2. Well, I should say the Mets have, in my opinion, 4 really good pitchers. The Nationals have 2. We don't know a whole lot about Wheeler yet, other than what he's projected to be, but we'll have to see. But I think the Nationals certainly will be a good team, and I think that Bryce Harper's definitely due to have a rebound season. We all know he's a better player than what he showed last year. Murphy, I don't expect him to be quite as good as last year, but I still think he's an elite bat in the middle of that order. I like Trey Turner out center, elite speed. I like Adam Eaton. I like a lot of the guys they have, to be quite honest with you, and I think they're going to be a really good team. But let's not forget they lost Wilson Ramos. They lost Mark Melancon. They lost some pieces that were important to that team. And I think the Mets are going to be adding a lot. So for me, the Nationals are a playoff contender. They are a World Series contender, but they're not winning the division. They take 2nd place. I'd say winning somewhere in the high 80s, maybe 87, 88, 89 games, somewhere in there. And then to the New York Mets, who I think are going to win the NL East because of that rotation. Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Matz, Wheeler. That's an elite group there. You got Familia at the closer spot. You got Addison Reed setting things up. The offense, although I don't think is one of the best in the league, they're still they're a fair offense in my view. You got Cespedes, you got Granderson, and you keep thinking eventually he's going to take a big step down. But he's been pretty consistent. He's not an elite player, but he's a pretty good offensive player. And every time he comes up, you expect or you fear as the opposing team that he can do something. And oftentimes he does. And you got Duda. You got David Wright. Will he be anything this year? He's coming back. I don't know what to expect from him. You got Asdrubal Cabrera. I like that New York rotation a hell of a lot more than I do their offense. But I think that rotation is the ultimate X factor, and I think they take the NL East. Now to the NL Central, where, let's be quite honest, it's a one-team race. But as I did in the NL East, let's go from last to first. I think last place in the NL Central goes to the Cincinnati Reds. They have no rotation. I do kind of like Brandon Finnegan. DeSclafani's pretty good, but I mean, all in all, they have no one. They don't even have two. If Finnegan's their best pitcher or DeSclafani, they're probably like a 3 or a 4 in a normal rotation. So their lack of a big-name pitcher in the rotation hurts. They got Votto. I'm starting to feel, pretty soon I'll feel for him like I did for Longoria. You're going to feel like, and Trout, the primes of their careers are just being wasted on bad teams. But the bullpen was absolutely disgraceful last year. It was one of the worst bullpens in Major League Baseball history. I think they finished in last in the NL Central. For me, fourth place goes to the Milwaukee Brewers. They got some, more so than the Reds. They have some exciting young pitchers. I like Zach Davies. You got Willie Peralta. You got Gurria. Matt Garza, he's on the downward side of his career. Not a big fan of him. The offense, still got Braun sitting over there. Again, another guy being wasted on a bad team. It's a trend you see. And I think I like Craig Counsell. I really do. I think he has the potential to be a good manager. But I just think that much like the Reds, they're in a rebuilding mode. But I will say I think they are closer to competing than the Reds are, because I do actually like a few more guys in their rotation than I do in Cincinnati's. For me, third place is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is a team I'm looking forward to watching. But my issue is their lead guy, McCutchen. He's on the downward side of his career, or he's getting to that point, I should say. And you see that now with the move to right field. I still do like their outfield with McCutchen, Polanco, and Marte. But, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. They don't typically have a lot of money to spend, and they don't get a lot of those big-time guys. And, they just have a lineup filled with a lot of Cervelli, Ajaso. These guys I just don't believe can compete with the lineups that the Cubs and Cardinals can throw out there. The rotation I am interested in. You got a guy like Nova, who was good for them last year. They sign him, re-sign him, keep him there. I think he has some potential. You have, what's the fucking guy's name? Jamison Taillon, Tyler Glansow, or Slow, or the fuck you say his name. And you got Garrett Cole, who clearly wants out of Pittsburgh, but he's still an elite arm. They have a really high ceiling as far as their rotation, especially if the two young guys take steps forward. But I just think at the end of the day, they're going to be about a 500 team, maybe slightly below, and I think they finish in third in the NL Central. For me, second place is the St. Louis Cardinals. They bring in Dex Fowler from the Chicago Cubs, and although I think that's a good move, it's not a move that's going to have you catching the Cubs. They already lose Alex Reyes, one of the first days of spring training. Maybe he was the best guy in the rotation as far as him and Carlos Martinez. I think they were the two best. They just have a lot of guys that, in my opinion, are on the downward sides of their career. Yadier Molina, I still think he's good, but he's not the same Yadier Molina. They lose Matt Holliday, which is probably a good thing, but Adam Wainwright's not the same guy. I just don't believe that they can compete with the Cubs. And, I still think they're going to be a pretty good team. I'm going to say 85 to 87 wins. Compete for a wild card spot. Still a great organization. Still a lot of winners on that team. And adding a guy like Dexter Fowler is just adding another winner. But, they're going to need huge years if they want to really compete with the Cubs. They're going to need huge years from, Stephen Piscotty. They're going to need a huge year from Colton Wong, Randall Grichuk. These guys are all going to have monster seasons. Matt Adams, he's going to have to stay healthy for them to be able to compete with the Cubs, and I just don't see it happening. Too many things would have to fall into place. And my number one team in the division is the Chicago Cubs. This is, in my opinion, the best team in baseball, bar none. Elite offense, elite rotation, elite manager, elite bullpen. Maybe not elite bullpen, but a good bullpen. One of the best defenses in baseball history. Really, there isn't much to say other than this team's going to be there the whole year. Will they win the World Series for sure? Absolutely not. We saw last year. You have no idea who's going to win the World Series. It's too fluky. You need too much luck to be able to predict it months in ahead. But at the end of the day, I feel absolutely confident saying they will be the best team in baseball. And I look for the MVP race to come down to, obviously it's going to come down to 3, 4, 5 guys, and 2 of them are going to be Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo. Not to mention you have Kyle Schwarber for a whole season, God willing. That's an elite offense, and there's rumors that Schwarber will be the leadoff guy, which I don't agree with. I'd rather see it be Zobrist, but if it is Schwarber, as an opposing pitcher, you come out there and right away, first inning, trying to get settled in, you face Schwarber, Bryant, Rizzo. I mean, that's just, and you got World Series MVP Zobrist after him, then Addison Russell, Javi Baez. This is just an elite team. Interested to see how Albert Almora does in center, replacing Dexter Fowler, but Wade Davis, I think, although he's not exactly a Aroldis Chapman, if he can stay healthy, he's one of the best closers in baseball. Last few years has shown that. So I got the Cubs winning the Central Division fairly easily. I expect them to win over 100 games. Then you get to the NL West, last place, San Diego. Nothing else to say. I think they compete with the Chicago White Sox for the worst team in baseball, and the Oakland A's. I think those are the three worst teams in the league. The White Sox, the A's, and the Padres. For me, fourth place goes to the Diamondbacks. A team that I don't think is horrible, and I think is going to be better than they were last year, but I still don't think is going to be 500. You got Shelby Miller, who was a huge disappointment last year. But you have him, you have Zach Greinke, Robbie Ray. What's it called? The offense, you got some good guys. You got David Peralta, you got Paul Goldschmidt, you got Pollock. So they have some good offensive players, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to compete with the top three teams in that division. And as far as the third team in that division, give me the Colorado Rockies. This isn't a team that I would love, and I so would love, to pick them to be the second team in the NL West above the LA Dodgers, who are going to be my second place team. Because I love that Colorado offense. Carlos Gonzalez, Trevor Story, it's just Nolan Arenado. I mean, this is an elite offense, but they have no rotation. Some young guys maybe they have potential, but as far as surefire, these guys are going to be aces. They don't have any. So I got them finishing third in the division due to a lack of a starting rotation. And as far as second in the division, I got the LA Dodgers. I think a lot of people are overrating them. I haven't heard some people saying that they think they can be better than the Cubs. No shot. Kershaw's great, and if he's able to stay healthy, he's probably going to win the NL Cy Young. It's a pretty safe bet. But after him, I don't like that rotation. I mean, I like Urias. Ryu, I don't know. I haven't heard a whole lot on him. Is he coming back? I was a fan of him when he was able to stay, or until he had the injury problems and was not around last year. But I don't love the rotation as far as a 1 through 5. Offensively, they have a lot of young guys that I like. Corey Seager, Yasiel Puig, Jock Peterson. I think Peterson's going to take a step up this year. Obviously, he's had some issues with the K's, and I think that'll always be an issue. But I think this year's the year where he puts a more complete season, at least from an offensive side, together. Adrian Gonzalez is still there. Utley's still there. Justin Turner, they brought him back. They re-signed Kenley Jansen. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they're going to compete for a playoff spot. I don't think they're as good as the Giants. I think they finished second in the NL West. And watch out for Colorado. If those pitchers, like a Gray, like a John Gray, if he has an elite year and one or two of those guys emerge as better pitchers than we are expecting them to be, they could finish second. The Dodgers could be at home finishing third. But I'm going to predict the Dodgers finish second. And for me, the number one team in the division is the San Francisco Giants. You got Cueto, you got Bumgarner, top of the rotation. That's elite. You got Matt Moore, you got Jeff Samardzija. The Giants win that division. You add Mark Melancon to try to help that end of the bullpen that was so bad last year, particularly at the end of the season. But I still like their offense. The same guys they've had. You got Crawford, you got Belt, you got Posey, you got Panic. They got a good offense. Not huge name guys, other than maybe Buster Posey, but they got a lot of solid, productive, everyday guys. So I got San Francisco winning that division, winning, 92, 93 games maybe 91, somewhere in there, low 90s. I see the Giants getting. But yeah, so I got the Mets, the Cubs, and the Giants being the 3 division winners. But thanks for checking in, guys. Now, in a few minutes here, I'm going a wild card prediction video. So I've done my 3 division winners in the AL. I now did my 3 NL division winners. I'm going to do a wild card prediction video. So thanks for checking in, guys. Comment down below what your opinions are. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know if you agree, disagree. Just trying to